News First, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.
And we have liftoff. Good morning. This is Newsline, live as always, almost, from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And it's a lovely day out there. We live in a virtual paradise. But in the meantime, there's one thing that is fast becoming the hallmark of any government in this country, and that is a departure from due process. Ladies and gentlemen, a departure from due process invariably, almost always means and leads to corruption. It is the root cause of corruption. There's a perfectly good reason why there is a process and procedure in place. Otherwise, why bother? That's the rule book. And we constantly see the rule book being forgotten, conveniently so, and in the interest, clearly in the pursuance of sustaining one's hold on power and authority, and also to raid somebody else's bank account. Talking about OPM, other people's monies, the public's monies, in this case, the students' fund. This morning we're joined by Mr. Azath Salley. Very good morning to you,
Very
Mr.
good
Salley.
morning, Faraz.
Now, Azath, it's growing, the hallmark of this government has been a departure from due process. But details now being uncovered by Newsfirst, in this instance by Newsfirst, is a significant problem, a significant issue. And that is that there was a departure of process. It is not limited to this government. It has been happening in the past. And sadly, very sadly for this governance, the good governance team, they've done nothing about it. And now we find details of the Mahapola Trust Fund. A significant departure from process. Azath.
Faraz, we saw the cabinet briefing yesterday,
Yeah.
where Minister Gayantha Karunatilaka comes and makes a statement that the government and the cabinet has decided to liquidate two companies, that is National Wealth Corporation Limited and NetWealth Securities,
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
But not giving any other detail.
Correct.
But when we saw Asanka Seneviratne being the chairman of
NetWealth.
NetWealth,
Yeah.
and his own company, which is the Nation Lanka Finance PLC.
Yeah. It's a finance
Yeah.
company.
Now, up to 2014, he even signs the audit report.
Yeah.
Up to that point,
As the chairman.
as the chairman. All of a sudden, you see him missing in the 2015 list of shareholders and also
On the board.
On the board.
On the board, and the list of
List of
shareholders
shareholders.
has got Nation Lanka Finance is no more.
No more. Now, 2.5 billion is not a small amount. Whose fund is this? This is the Mahapola Students Fund.
The future generation
Generations.
of our country.
We exposed, I think 6-7 months ago, a similar situation with Mr. Vikramaveera Surya.
Yeah.
He called me and threatened me that he is going before a defamation case and going to file a case against me. I said, please go ahead, do so. But up to today, nothing had come up.
You know, these people may argue that there's nothing legally wrong. It's the same argument that the Prime Minister used for Arjuna Mahendran. Do you remember he said there is no evidence of wrongdoing? What more? Come on. These people have been brought in there to add some value to the board and so on.
More than anything, for us, my situation is this. If the government is having so much of funds, they are appointing ministers and ministers appointing other agents of theirs to look after these funds. Not to look after these funds, but to rob the funds. Actually,
Well,
you may take.
yes.
Right?
Yeah,
To rob the
eventually
funds.
that's what
Now,
happened.
if you see these records, 15 years, this investment committee has not sat.
Exactly.
Will you believe? They have not sat. They don't know what was happening inside this money. Now, funds have been going here and there, and now the government has come to know that there is a big loss of 2.5 billion.
And they
Who is responsible?
And why are they rushing? Why are they rushing to
liquidate this now
without
even,
forensic audit.
exactly. You have now, like the central bank thing,
Yeah.
you have always been harping on that. Why don't you do a forensic audit? Right now,
Azath, I want to tell you this. The Presidential Commission of Inquiry noted that the Bond Commission, in their report in March 2017, but let me tell you that Newsfirst did ask for a forensic audit to be carried out by an international company long before that.
Correct.
Even during COPE 2,
Yeah.
it was we who asked for a forensic audit. And eventually we got it. But the central bank says that the system is in place and they hope to award the contract to carry out the forensic audit on 6 different forensic audits for 6 different areas by October.
For us, my point is, we are appointing governments over governments. Why are we appointing governments? To govern us good.
Yes.
Right? Now, if we have seen the same mistake being done by the previous government, this is up to 2014, this is.
Yeah.
2015, January 8th, we come with good governance. What have we done up to today? If you take all the revelation that Newsfirst is doing, if you see that, that means we are also going on a target that we will definitely rob 1 rupee more than the Rajapaksa regiment.
That's it.
That's the theme.
That seems to be the theme.
That's the theme. So now, if you take Sri Lankan, the same thing happened.
And
if you take Ceylon Bank, same thing happens. If you take Mahapola, same thing happens. Why? Why this is happening in this country? Because no proper action was taken by any government for the people who have been doing the wrong thing. Now this is a very clear-cut evidence of how this company and Mr. Asanka Senviratne becomes the chairman of that company, right?
Of a company that's owned by the Mahapola
Trust.
This is for students.
Yeah.
For students.
And that investment committee never meets. So who has given the power to them to run?
Not meet.
Exactly.
To not meet.
Hey.
Who has given them the power not to meet?
Not to meet. And also, at least you must see where you are investing, what is the rate of interest that you are investing, what is good for the students of this country, because the future generation is waiting on the Mahapola thing. Now, Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, transferring this into a Lalit Atulat Mudali fund, all that is good. And after he came, this thing has come out, is also good. But before liquidating, what they should have done is say there has been a problem and there is a shortfall of 2.5 billion and that must be investigated. A forensic audit must be done first.
Absolutely.
And also
it's not too late.
And also with the 19th amendment coming into place, the Auditor General has the power to do it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Under the 19th amendment.
After the 19th, before that he couldn't do it. Okay. Yeah. Now that the Auditor General is there, the Auditor General has the power to go into that detail. Now it has to be done. Now just coming before cabinet and saying that we have just liquidated this company is not going to help do. Now we can see financing. Now you saw a wealthy businessman was taken on a chopper ride. Right? He was from Homagama, he was bought to Temple Trees. By the time he came, he had to give 100 million. Same week, his entire financial institution was taken over. Right? Today what happens? Now the whole thing is in a mess. The staff of that bank even cannot have their own gratuity taken out. Right? 100%. Now, they go before the Labour Court, they win the case, they go before the Court of Appeal, they win the case, they go before the Supreme Court. But still, they don't implement. Who is these powerful people who are in the board today?
Well,
when you appoint.
Yes, talking about powerful people.
Yeah.
Very unfortunately, and lending a bit of concern, the patron of the Mahapola Fund is none other than the Chief Justice. Now, they have brought this highest ranking legal person to be the patron, and then underneath they are doing all these
all these things have happened.
But from time to time the Supreme Court has said that their conscience has been shocked by the actions of various officials.
Exactly.
And in this case, under their very noses, something quite wrong has happened. No investment committee.
Now there is a
surely, how can he come in there and do that?
There is an advantage in that also now for us. He has to approve anything that has to go before the new High Court. Now, CJ's retirement is there in October.
Yeah.
1 more month to go. I think it's best for the CJ to do is to get this investigated immediately and transfer this case to the High Court, the new High Court. Because he has to authorize, no?
Yes.
If he authorizes, then within months we can see results. If not, we will say, no, politically motivated case are only taken. Now, this is not politically motivated. This is politically appointed. Politically appointed.
Who
this appointment was done, my good friend, Johnston Fernando.
Well, he was the minister in charge of education.
And who was the governor at that time? Faraz.
I'm going to let you say it.
No, I want you to come out with it.
Ajit Niwad Kabra.
Yes. So, he also has a role to play.
Indeed.
Because he keeps speaking about all these activities that have taken place in the Newborn Commission.
Yeah.
There are other issues also which we have not investigated up to now.
Yeah.
Now 3.5 years have gone. My point has always been, for us, is very clear. All these institutions, state institutions and public corporations are under influence of some politician, not for the betterment of the country, but only to loot that place before their term is over. So this has been going on, and what are we doing? What are the public doing? What are the investigators doing? Nothing. Now, don't forget that the central bank has a role to play in all these things, because it is the public fund ultimately. Now, if you take the financial institution that I am talking of, is also, you write letters to the central bank saying that this is done, this is illegal. You know what is the reply you get from the central bank? These matters are now before court. It can be before court. Any judgment can come. That's a different issue totally. But if the financial institution is doing something wrong, what you have to do is to investigate and see that proper action is taken to put that in order.
Indeed.
Now you have people who have involved in hedging. You have people who have completely ruined some banks. If these people are bought as CEOs and put in this financial institution, what will happen to the country?
Absolutely.
So this is the biggest problem, and they have to immediately take up these issues and ensure the right people are put in place.
Indeed.
Because ultimately you will say it will be another financial institution that is closed down.
Indeed.
The financial institution closed down, we were watching, central bank was watching, no action was taken. Yes, now public has no money, all the depositors will have to go and wait in front of the institution. Like today you see, most of the institution getting closed, our people are going and sitting there. This is exactly what is happening for us. So I think proper action has to be taken.
This is what happens, Azath, Salley, when we depart from due process. And when appointments are made on the basis of political affiliations. Now we have, it's so simple. Malik Samaravikrama is not an elected official. His claim to fame is that he was the chairman of the United National Party.
There is a word in Sinhala.
Yes.
Ganda Suwanda Janatavage Ganda Suwanda Teren Nati Manusek. Is Malik Samaravikrama. Only if you are in the local authority, only if you are in the provincial system, only if you come as an elected member to parliament,
that you
understand the gravity of the situation and understand the wanting of the people. You don't know anything. Right? So that is why you import people, right, who are dealing with Mahinda Rajapaksa to the country, and then you start operating with them because you don't have good people.
Correct.
Right? After this government came, you see 3.5 years, all transactions we see. Where is that 7-story building, this 7th tallest building that was going to come for us in Sri Lanka?
Absolutely.
You are signing agreements without a land for the highest building, tallest building.
You know, in this whole scene where we have the Chief Justice as the patron, I believe that as the patron and as the Chief Justice, he must immediately call for a forensic audit. Immediately. And
before his time expires.
He must do it. No time can be wasted.
Exactly.
He must do it immediately.
Exactly.
Mr. Chief Justice,
And I
if
think he
you're
will do
watching
it.
us,
I think.
you ought to do this thing. We urge you to do this because, after all, we all
Children,
hold...
the wealth of our children.
It is the wealth of our children, of this country's
Exactly.
next generation. And it appears that these people who come there and pretend to uphold ethics and standards and so on and so forth, they don't care about even the children's
Since
money.
independence in 1948, we have seen similar institutions getting closed down, similar institutions being played out by the private sector.
I want to ask you this. I want to ask you this. Would you mess about with your children's fund?
Never.
Do you go and take your kids' monies from their savings account, their
How
piggy
can you
banks?
take? How can you take? And now the
Well,
system.
that's what they've done. They've done, and they've lost it.
Exactly.
They've lost it. But when you lose, somebody else gains.
No, for
Who
us.
gains in this
no.
case?
If the government or the minister had a track record of what was happening, this loss would have not happened. No.
Absolutely.
2.5 billion rupees is 2,500 million rupees has been played out, right? And what do? We only say we are liquidating the company. It's not an excuse that you
That's
can
on the one side.
That's
On the
one
other side, we have them raising the flag and celebrating. The only thing missing was the papare ban.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, we got $1 billion from China as a loan. We won't need
No
this.
investment is coming.
We don't need this.
No investment is coming, but we are only getting loans from various countries. That also what? Today all the borders are given out, sold out. I only want to raise one issue here. Our government claims that they have done a good thing. They have only given it on lease, no, Faraz, 99 years lease,
right.
no. So 99 years Mr. Vikramasinghe has lived, he will live, Malik is going to live, right? Is the president going to live? No, you will be all gone. What will happen to the country? One border is with China, the airport is with India, Trincomalee, Japan is coming there, another company is going to be set up, India, China, Japan and Sri Lanka. What is going to happen? What are we going to sell? Is the harbour and the airports. Tomorrow there you can see how the world is running today. The conflict that is there.
There are far better and easier ways of raising money.
Exactly.
If they are committed. But they are not committed.
Not committed.
They are not committed. And if they are committed, why are they still dilly-dallying with Arjuna Mahendran's case? Why? There you go, there's a special high court. How come we can't charge him there?
More than that, and I have spoken to you again and over again, 45,000 checks have been written. Okay? 2 people have been arrested, more than 6 months today, are still inside. What happens to the other people who have taken money? Up to now, 3 names have only come out. Out of the 45,000 checks, only 3 names have come. Dayasiri, Sujiva Serasinghe, Rosi Senanayak. Only 3 names have come out. What is happening to the balance checks?
Are you sure about Rosie?
Yeah, that's already there. Now I have the document with me. Son has gone and already confessed to the CID that he took the money for the mother.
But it'll be on your head until I check.
Yeah, I can give it to you now. It's in my vehicle.
So you have to accept responsibility.
I have already mentioned this in the council.
But do you have to accept responsibility? You
giving
just said
you-
it on my program.
I am giving you the B report now. Okay.
All right.
Mr.
But
Faraz,
subject to that, you still
my
responsible.
accusation is always with documents.
Because you can't come here and just
Supported
make accusations.
documents, and I don't give allegation to anybody for that matter.
Right.
If
Good.
they take money, my question is, just
But it's only
taking the
3
B
people.
report, making a statement, no. I have another proposal for us.
Yeah.
Everybody now knows that this money has to be recovered.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't the government open a suspense account at central bank itself?
Yeah.
Tell all these guys, we have the list of telephone calls, we have the list of people who have taken money, dump the money back to the suspense account immediately. Give them 2 weeks time.
Have you visited Saudi Arabia recently?
Yes.
Ah, no wonder. What you're trying to do, what you're proposing, is what the Crown Prince,
Salman.
Prince Salman,
Salman.
BMS,
Yeah.
Salman bin Saud.
Yeah.
Right. Prince Salman, BMS, the Crown Prince, he's done the same thing. The only thing is, he took it one step more. He got them all to go and check in to the Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah.
in Riyadh.
Then he
And then he said, come on chaps, pay up.
Pay up.
Otherwise we'll transfer you to a proper jail.
75% paid up.
Yeah.
So, I am not going to tell them to take them into custody now.
No.
Okay, still
But
investigation will have.
but we could ask them
What I am trying to say is open the suspense account first.
Yeah.
Give a public statement. Okay, come on guys, this is all public money. Come on, deposit this within 2 weeks. Let
Well-
all the guys who have taken the checks declare, go and dump the money.
I have a slightly different take. President Mahapola Sirisena said, and he's done it, he's implemented that, and that is that he didn't want to stay at President's house. Now, President's house has been refurbished over the years to accommodate the large Rajapaksa family, and it's virtually underutilized. Why doesn't the government say to these chaps, if either you return and pay it into the suspend account, or else we shall hold you at President's house until you come to your senses.
Good one. Not only that,
And it's pretty safe.
Whether the president is using the house or not, the Rajapaksas have done it in such a way that the air condition must be on 24 hours. And that is why the president says the bill was 7.5 million a month, but now, whether he likes it or not, that air conditions have to be kept on, and there is 22.5 million monthly still being paid as electricity charges. So this is the state of affairs in the country. People trust and vote these people and want something to happen, and what they do after coming into power, they forget the masses, they only want to rob the country. And up to today, nobody has been sentenced by any government.
Yeah.
Since 1948, right? Only J.R. Javadana came and removed Sirma Bandaranaike civic rights, Fauzi civic rights, Ratnasiri Rajapaksa civic rights. That are the only 3 cases that we can talk of since independence. Up to that time, all successive governments have been robbing the public. Very clearly I am telling, is robbing the country. Not only this for us. Now, if you take Kankan Ture cement,
Yeah.
the entire steel was cut and sold. Entire steel was cut and sold. Amblypedia paper, government paper mill, that was given to the private sector during the last regiment, right? Bank has funded that state institution. They have mortgaged what? The old machineries have been mortgaged and given money. That fellows took the money, they ran out of the country. Now, that institution is now suffering. They've already advanced the money, they can't recover the money. So they are calling on tenders. Even people who are giving higher rates are not being given. Just it is going at 12 million rupees. 12 million rupees for us. So what is this institution? What are they doing? And who is responsible? Up to today, the central bank is not monitoring that. Now, the central bank has a law. The bank mortgages your property.
Yeah.
Right? And you want to take it back, you have a deal with the bank, okay, they agree with the interest, you have to pay. When they try to sell it underneath, you have to get the central bank approval. Then you go to central bank, they return the paper saying that no, this is not the value. Under value you can't sell, that's the law.
Yeah.
But who is monitoring these things? Who is monitoring these banks? Who is monitoring this institution? Why these financial institutions are falling? Because no proper guidelines, no circulars are being followed. Each CEO of the company decides what to do and what not to do. So there is, as you say, this board has been sitting for 15 years, investment board not knowing anything. Likewise, other institutions also, it is the same. It's a one-man show in most of these institutions.
Well,
you can't allow this to happen.
And the example is set at the top. The monetary board didn't do anything when Arjuna Mahendran acted solo and decided to change the system and decided to take 10 billion instead of 1 billion. The board, the monetary board, were happily asleep. Happily asleep.
On RTI, Right for Information, I put a document about 3 weeks ago to the BOI. I asked them, tell me how many agreements you have signed. Faraz, I'll give it to you before I go. 262 agreements signed, 67 in courts.
And they have a huge legal department.
Legal department has not functioned. Others have only functioned as legal officers. That's a good one for you. I'll give it to you. You study that. We can ask for
Everywhere
the entire court record.
everywhere
You must
these
get the
guys-
entire court record to see who has appeared, how much payment has been made. Very interesting. I'll give you the document now, right away.
Well, and it's also the same everywhere. If you look
Everywhere.
at look at Sri
Everywhere.
Lanka cricket, Faraz Mustafa has employed the various legal teams to represent them. Yes, you need things.
See, Faraz Mustafa has been appointed temporarily. Okay?
But his
He has
actions are not temporary.
He
His
has
actions
been,
are far-reaching
exactly.
consequences.
What I told him very clearly. And the other day, Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, Dayasuri Jayasekara, President and myself, we were going to the Eastern University. While we were going, the President made it very clear that Pfizer, I have given it to him temporarily. He has no business to change anything but to hold elections. Anybody can be elected. That's not my concern, he said. It has to be the democratic process and you do the right thing. If there is any problem, anybody wants to do things legally, they can go and file a case. You can see several cases already there. No? The Arjuna Ranatunga family had been in court to even postpone the election. So like that, if there is anybody who wants anything, they can go before a court. But you as the minister, don't get involved in any sides. You do the right thing. You hold election. That is, the other problem can be seen legally. This is what the President wanted to inform them. This is the situation. Everybody wants to come, put a change. They want to do something here and there. And then finally, country is suffering. Cricket is suffering. The whole country is suffering with the good governance government. Because no proper directive. We are not going in the right direction. That is why the country is suffering for us. I must tell you openly.
It's sad, isn't it?
Very sad. Now,
Now,
about this story that you were talking about,
Now I want to tell you something else.
planting trees and the fertilizer, why did you say that first?
I want to tell you, yesterday we got this message and unfortunately it came just as we were closing. And this viewer made a point. We were talking about leadership and so on with Govind Dasri.
Yeah.
And this is the message that I got from a viewer who said, Govind said that MR doesn't want GR.
Yeah.
Okay. And then came this message. It says,
Going
Gotabia will make the city pretty on the one hand, and he will use many people as fertilizer to make the trees bloom.
Fantastic. I must really commend the person who made that comment.
I want
Right
to say something else. Do you remember our dear Prime Minister Ranil? He's a terribly nice chap. He made a statement more or less prompted by the activities of News First, because we were exposing this bond. On the 7th, I think the date was the 17th of March 2015. He came there and he spoke ever so eloquently about pumping and dumping and so on.
Yeah, I saw that
And
yesterday.
Tilak Karunaratne came in and he promised to investigate these 12 files or whatever. He was 2 or 3 times on my program here at Newsline. And he kept asking for more time.
I think Faraz
And finally, do you know what? Arjun Aloysius, his hand is there before. All I want to say is, to the folks in the financial industry, when I mention this next 2 words, 2 names, I'm sure you'll all know what I mean. Grain elevators.
Before we conclude, I think you must be harping on what I said today. That should be your news, that open up a suspense account, like the Saudi did.
Yes.
Right? Like you said, if they don't do it, bring them before the presidential palace, which is closed.
I think we should get
Lock
them
that.
to come
Lock
to the
them up.
presidential palace
Get them,
with their checkbooks.
Get them, all state officials, government officers, secretaries, ministry officials, whoever who has taken money, that all should deposit this money within 2 weeks of time. We will see how much of money that comes
In the days of old, the 4th floor, people were petrified. Now, let's instill that same sense of fear, but with a little bit of comfort, because we want to make use of President's house. Let's tell
And
these
we make
guys
use of
to
that
come in
2.5 million that
there.
electricity.
Come in there with the checkbooks, with the rubber stamps and all that. Lock them up there and say, the only way out, there are 2 ways out.
Pay up and go.
Either you pay, and when the check clears, we'll let you out. Otherwise, we're going to transfer you from here to the Magistrates
More
Court in
than that,
Fort,
Faraz,
and then to Ellicott.
you saw the president shouting away when all the media spoke about Mahathir Mohamad. And who misled the president was none other than your good friend Mr. Muzammil, the ambassador in Malaysia. He said, sir, no, nothing like that. What happened? Najib's house was raided, all the things were taken out, money was taken, foreign currency was taken.
You know, I want to say something to you. On behalf of our news team News First, I want to say this to you, and we can see them through the glass here. I want to say something to you. Thank you and congratulations to you, Azath Salley, for being open, for being fearless, and for coming out and standing with us in our quest to unearth the truth.
Definitely, we have to get together. Not only right-minded people have to get together if you are to put this country right.
People who are seated in their do-nothing seats, it's time
they want
to rise.
650,000 worth chairs to sit.
Yes, we don't need that.
We don't need that.
On that note, Azath Salley, thank you very much for being on Newsline. And that's the way it was on Newsline this morning. Do take care. Wish you a great weekend. God bless.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.